So when we're talking about like navigating the holiday season, you might kind of explore like where do we even start to address this? And we're going to start with just actually understanding common holiday stressors. Welcome everybody to the highs and lows of X's and O's. I'm your host, Dr. Hillary Coffin, or as some of my clients like to call me, Dr. C. I'm a clinical sports psychologist based in Austin, Texas, and I've been in the field for over 17 years working with individual athletes, teams, and organizations in building their mental performance and wellness programs. My passion is to assist breaking down stigmas across communities, which is highlighted in my book, Hello Trauma, Our Invisible Teammate. This is your go-to podcast where we delve into the intricate dance between mental health, performance, and success. Let's get started. Hello, my high performers, and welcome back to the highs and lows of X and O's. I'm Dr. C, your guide to the mental game, and I'm here to help you thrive on and off the field or in any performance domains that you're working in. Today, we are going to do a different sort of episode. I wanted to spend some time similar to those mental cheat codes I give you and really give some tools to add to your mental skills playbook on how we can tackle such a timely topic called navigating the holiday season. Now, for many of us, the holidays can bring joy and celebration, but for my high performers, this can also stir up some challenges. Whether it's maintaining your routines, dealing with family dynamics, or managing the emotional ups and downs that come with this time of year. And this time of year isn't just like a one day, it can be 6 weeks long, it can add buildup and time. And so we're going to dive into how the holiday season can impact your mental health and more importantly, explore tools to help you navigate so we can, just embrace this season with strength and grace. So when we're talking about like navigating the holiday season, you might kind of explore like where do we even start to address this? And we're going to start with just actually understanding common holiday stressors. Understanding how the holiday season can actually be challenging is the first step. This builds off of the mental cheat code last week, which was talking about, self-awareness. And you may not even be that aware that the holiday season causes you stress, or that's the reason why you feel so tired. So we're going to lean into why the holiday season can be so challenging. Even our most disciplined high performers this time of year can throw them off balance. So we're going to talk about some common stressors that we all experience. The first one, and the one that I think gets us the most uneasy, is the disruption of our routines. So this might be because we're traveling, we have more social events than normal crammed into a short amount of time, or just all the holiday hustle and bustle if you're going to the stores or being around or everyone coming in and out. Our usual routines often get disrupted. And this can lead to feelings of disorganization or even guilt, especially if you're in the midst of training and you aren't able to train at the same capacity or it doesn't feel like you're working as hard. The disruption in routines will begin to manifest and cause a lot of internal emotions and frustration, maybe some irritability. And then we see this impact in our sleep and our mood and our social skills, and it doesn't allow us to speak kindly to ourselves. And it really is a catalyst to start impacting our mental performance, our mental wellness, and then our overall performance functioning and establishing like proper routines that would help us in this time. The second stressor that is very common is family and social pressures. Holidays in general are often meant spending time with family and friends or those that you identify as family or just being around people. And this can be wonderful. And social skills and social support we know adds so much value to our mental performance, but it also can bring up tension and unresolved issues or pressure to meet everyone's expectations, especially if you're traveling and you're going into someone else's environment, but you want to maintain your routines and you're trying to meet what their expectations are. I see a lot of my college athletes that are returning back home for the first time, especially if they were freshman athletes and they were going away and they return back home and they're used to living more independently in a different lifestyle than the expectations and standards of what it's like to return home and what are parents' expectations. And like if I'm being real, that never changes. Like even as an adult, when I go back to my mom and dad's, they're my mom and dad. So they want me to be around and hang out and they have their expectations and it's very different. So the family pressure and social pressure of who do you hang out with? Where are you going? What's happening? How do you meet the demands of everybody is another common holiday stressor we experience. Then we lead into the financial stress. This one might not hit everybody, but you can feel this and experience this in the environments that you're around as well. Like money always comes up, things come up. gifts, traveling, hosting, all of these things come at a cost, and it adds up and can lead to financial worries. And that will add another layer of stress or fears, especially for the future of how we're going to manage these things. You know, when we're looking through kind of the financial stress, we also look at like, is it causing issues in our budget, and trying to stay focused on performance goals. And so money in general, financial stress, this can feed into meeting families' expectations. It can lead into how do you maintain routines and what you're doing. Do things cost money and travel and time? And so that is always an underlying cause, even outside of the holidays, but we see it showing up a lot more in the holiday time because we spend more based on what we're doing and where we're at, or we're unable to spend. And then that can cause some feelings and frustrations and fears if we can't provide as much as we want to as well, or we're fearing what that might look like. And our last common stressor that I want you to start understanding about is just the emotional highs and lows. Very fitting. We talk about the highs and lows all the time in our performance domains. We're going to talk about the emotional highs and lows that show up in the holiday season. The holidays can amplify emotions. Some of that being joy and the connections and the excitement and the energy and the adrenaline, all the love and wonderful imaginations that you can lead into with all of our family holiday traditions. But it also can lead to feelings of loneliness, sadness, anxiety, for many different reasons. Holidays, especially if you've experienced a loss, or if you're away from your loved ones, it's holidays just bring up the sadness and the grief and the reminders that you're maybe not in the place that you'd want to be, or you're missing the loved ones that you had. And this can be a really difficult time. And sometimes these feelings, the lows, catch us off guard because we might be surrounded with the most beautiful love and amazing time, but we just feel pretty empty. And so understanding that it's very common, even if you have lost a loved one or gone through some significant trauma or things in your life that have maybe you felt you had healed from, the holidays just happen to bring up these emotions because of all the memories that you've experienced in that time. So understanding these stressors is the first step. The second step I'm going to give you is actually how do we navigate the season? So we're going to explore some practical tools that will help you. You can add them into your mental performance playbook on navigating the holiday season, and this will kind of safeguard your mental health. I would love for all of us if we can come out of the holiday season with a little bit better mental health and wellness in preparation of a new year, where we know the energy of the new year then shifts into this buzz and excitement, and everyone has all these like gratitudes and reflections and new resolutions and goals that they want to have. And we're going to lead into that in the future episode of actually how we can maintain that and not just have that be a 3 to 6 week excitement. But first, we're going to lead into, now that we have the understanding of holiday stressors, let's go to step one, practical tool: embrace the flexibility in your routines. So it is important for you to recognize that your regular routines are going to shift. There's no might or maybe. Like you're going to have a new environment, a new dynamic. Even if you're at home, like I'm at home, my kids are off school now, my routine shifts. It's okay. That's going to be okay. We own it. Instead of trying to maintain the rigid schedule, let's just aim for some flexibility. Let's give ourselves some grace in this dynamic. You can still reach your goals, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you do that. So tip number one, the tool here, the mental tool for your playbook, is prioritize non-negotiables. I'm going to say that again. I want you to prioritize your non-negotiables. Identify 1 or 2 key practices that you do all the time that keep you grounded. This might be your morning meditation, that 5-minute mind that I will continuously hound you on all the time that you should be doing. It could be a short workout. Give yourself some grace here. If you're used to working out 45 to an hour, maybe you're going to get a 20 to 30-minute workout. That's great too. Maybe journaling. Maybe journaling is your must go to. I'm going to journal every night, do that reflective practice. Just find 1 to 2. We're not going to overload, but 1 to 2 non-negotiables that you know, these are my consistent coping mechanisms. These are my things that ground me and they build my mental wellness. And I'm going to commit to these. Even if everything else around me is chaotic and it's new and it's different, I'm going to commit to this. So sometimes for me, because I love to work out and I want to go to the gym and I might not have a gym around me if I'm traveling, can I go out and at least walk? And I'll bring someone with me, a new family member or someone I haven't seen in a while, but I'm going to commit to a walk because movement And intentional movement is all that helps me stay grounded and in check. So get your non-negotiables, and that's just the flexibility in your routine. It's tip number one. Mental tip number two is set boundaries with empathy. All right. I say this with the most love and kindness for our family dynamics and our social pressures we have, but setting boundaries with empathy. We know that family dynamics can be tricky, but setting your boundaries is essential. And it doesn't have to mean conflict when you set boundaries. It just means that you're kind of safeguarding yourself. So the tool here is communicate clearly and kindly. Before any of your gatherings, I want you to just check in with yourself and reflect on what your needs are. And then we communicate them with empathy. For example, I'd love to join you for dinner, but I need some quiet time before we gather. This is just like a simple kind of check in with yourself. It's no different than if you did a body scan before a performance and you're like, "Ooh, I'm feeling a little bit tight here. Maybe I can do some extra stretching." If you know that you get exhausted by the constant conversations and the loudness and the energy around you, even if you're an extrovert and you get energy, maybe you're not an extrovert and you know that these social gatherings take time. Um, just take a pause. Just give yourself a minute, reflect on kind of how you're feeling, what you're doing, and go into those dinners with some intentionality of how you want it to be and where you're going to like guide the conversations and how you want to feel at the end of the dinner. I think even just taking a moment to be like, okay, can't wait to go into this dinner. I can't wait to catch up with people. I know it's going to be a lot, and here's how I'm going to like take some breaks if I need to. But here's how I want to feel after I go into this dinner or this social setting. And then once you have the plan and you've taken a moment, now you go in. If you ever feel overwhelmed, just take an extra long bathroom break and take a minute to breathe. It's cool. No one's going to think anything of it, and if they do, oh well. Okay. The next one is manage financial stress thoughtfully. So I'm no financial wizard or genius here, and I'm not going to tell you all the things on how to kind of navigate your checkbook or things. But I will say, hey, creating a holiday budget is definitely going to help you ease the financial stress or any just stress that comes with money. So setting a realistic budget for your gifts and your travels and events. Focus on meaningful, non-expensive gestures if you're stressed out about money. Be very thoughtful and intentional around kind of how can you show up in your presence of where you're at. And I'd say like don't if you can be less apologetic around kind of like, oh, I didn't get you this because of that, or highlighting the financial thing. That's your own insecurities that show up in this space. You showing up is enough. You giving a thoughtful letter or card, amazing. So remembering your presence and your thoughtfulness are more valuable than any price of tag of a gift that you can get. Um, so I just think like go into it with the fact that you're committing to these plans, you're committing to the gifts that you're giving, you're intentional about it, you're thoughtful, but you're not breaking the bank that's going to cause you more stress in the future. Do yourself some favor and allow yourself just to enjoy the moment and be really excited when you get there and not have this be the number one kind of stress you have going on. All right. And if we lead into the step 4 of how we navigate and kind of understand our stressors, we know that we need to manage those highs and lows. So we have to prioritize our emotional well being. Navigating the range of emotions. I'm just going to say, feel your feels, man. I tell you all the time to feel your feels. So allowing yourself to feel without judgment is definitely what we need to lock into. And the mental tool to help you is practicing self compassion. And I don't mean to be cliche or catchy or any of these things. I'm just being like real and honest. Like when difficult emotions arise, just pause, just feel it, acknowledge them, treat yourself with some grace, some kindness. Um, Same way that you do with a friend. Things get hard and we don't jump the gun. We don't try to solve all the time. Sometimes you just got to just take a beat and be there. And this is exactly why I've been pushing, and I love all of our cheat codes that lean into this, but the techniques of like mindfulness and gratitude journaling can be so helpful and so essential to allow you to stay present and focused on the positive. And gratitudes, it's so amazing and it feels so great. Like one tool that I would love for you to try are gratitude shares out loud or a circle of compliments. When you're at the dinner table, can you go around and we love to do like what's the best part of our day? And I know at Thanksgiving here in the US, a lot of people are gonna be like, hey, what am I thankful for? But for you to spend your own time and really have some genuine, like, I'm so grateful for this and I'm so grateful to experience this. And flip side, can you have empathy and perspective taking? And can you identify a gratitude that you see for someone else? How amazing is that if you were to share a gratitude of like, I'm so grateful you have this opportunity in your life, and then allow that person to sit with that. It feels so good to give kindness to other people as well and to receive it. I know for some of us, it maybe feels a little bit awkward. Some of us get a little uncomfortable with a compliment, but these gratitude shares allow just it's like a warm hug for your heart. It allows you to just feel so good and sinks in and is a huge boost for your mental health. And then we're going to lead into how can we stay connected with our support system. Connection is such a powerful antidote to the holiday stress. So here's your mental tip, man. Lean into your tribe. Lean into it. Reach out to your friends that aren't going to be at the places that you're going to. Reach out to teammates that you're going to be away from, that you're going to miss. Share gratitude with your coach because you're building a connection. Even if you're like, oh, that's weird, you just do it anyway. It feels good. Coach is going to be happy too. Um, I love when I get those random texts sent to me on a holiday, and it's like from someone I haven't talked to in a while. I was like, oh man, that's really awesome. Like it brings so much joy and smile to me, and like I'm already thinking about like I got a cheesy grin on my face if you're watching the video. Like it's so awesome when you just open up your phone and you send some messages, you get messages back to you, especially the ones that shock you. And um, I have a funny story. One of my friends would take forever to write her gratitudes for her friends, and she'd write them all in her notes first, and then she'd personalize them to everybody. And it was like awesome because it was so intentional and so thoughtful. And I remember thinking, wow, you spend so much time in preparation to send such thoughtful messages to people. Like, how amazing is that? And how wonderful to receive those things. So, really lean into your tribe when you're away from them. And if you are with them, sharing laughter, talking through challenges, just being open and honest and real, and connecting through this can just give you such a boost in the emotional perspective and the emotional support that you need during this time. So we've navigated understanding the holiday stressors. I've given you some tools on how to navigate the season, but I want us just to put a little plug in our brain about sustaining mental wellness beyond the holidays. We're definitely going to dive into this in the future when we get to the new year, because it's going to be so crucial for us to carry these forward beyond just the holiday season. Remember, I'm not just giving you a one-stop shop that you say, hey, this mental tool is a quick fix for here. I'll do my gratitude shares on the week of Thanksgiving and that's it. Like, no, man, I want you to do gratitude shares multiple times a year, multiple times a day, all the things. It's so helpful. The holidays are just one season in our marathon of life. So, some things to think through are just reflect and reset. After the holiday rush, before the next holiday, and then continuing on that, taking time to reflect on like, how was that? What worked well? Same process we do after any performance. Use the insights that you can reset and have different intentionality and say, oh, I need to do better here. This one really exhausted me. I need to take some time for myself and just kind of chill and have a chill day. So the post-holiday check-ins, so essential. Set aside some time to allow you to just evaluate how the experience was and adjust the routines as needed. Thank you for joining me on this different episode of the highs and lows of X's and O's. I do hope that these tools empower you and help you thrive during our holiday season and beyond. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow high performers or family members that just need a little tip of understanding how you might be feeling during this time. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and keep pushing forward. Happy holiday season.